Sketch the straight line given by y equals 2/5 x minus 8. So this is given to us actually with the equation of the line. And hopefully you'll remember that this is in what we call y equal mx plus b form, or slope-intercept form. Remember that m is the slope and b is the y coordinate of the y-intercept. Okay, so we can look at our picture. It's going to write it above, y equals mx plus b. So we can see that we have y equals for both of those. And then we have mx and we have 2/5 times x. So m, remember, is always the coefficient of x. So when you're looking at an equation, y equals some number times x plus or minus some other number, when it's in this form, slope-intercept form, we know the coefficient of x gives you the slope. So when your equation is in y equals mx plus b form, which just means y is on one side of the equation and its coefficient is 1. That's the first thing. And x is on the other side of the equation. So that's what y equals mx plus b form is. Okay, so we know, if that's true, that the coefficient of x is the slope. So we see our slope is 2/5. Okay, and then the other part, like we said, we have mx plus b, so this piece right here, this plus b must be -8. But b is the y coordinate of the y-intercept. Okay, so we see that b is -8, which means the y-intercept is some point 0, b, so in our case it's 0, -8. Okay, so we're going to plot the y-intercept, and then we're going to use the slope to find other points. So we're going to plot the y-intercept, 0, -8. Remember, as I said earlier, that means our points go x, y. So we're going to go 0 in the x direction, which means I'm on the y-axis, right? If x is 0, I'm looking somewhere on the y-axis. Okay, and then y is -8. So I start out here at the origin, and I don't go left, I don't go right, I stay there, but I go down 8. So this right here is 0, -8. That is my y-intercept. Okay, but we said our slope was 2/5. But remember, slope is rise over run. You could also think about slope as change in y over change in x. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit to this. I'm going to make this a +2 and a +5. So that means we start out at some point that we know is on the line, like 0, -8. Then we're going to go, if I have a +2, we're going to go up 2. And if I have a +5, that means we're going to go right 5. Both of these pluses mean the change in each of these is going to be positive. So if I'm looking at y, which can go up or down, positive means go up. If I'm looking at x, which can go left or right, positive direction is right. So from here, we're going to go up 2, right 5. So up 2, 1, 2, then right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another point on this line. Then we go up 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I wanted points over here, I would do the same thing, just like I did in the earlier example. I know that if I have 2/5, that's the same thing if I make them both negative. Because what's a negative divided by a negative? Well, it's a positive, right? So I really could go down 2, and this -5 would tell me instead of going right, the direction that's negative when I'm dealing with x's is left 5. So I would go down 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this. Okay, then we're going to connect this in a beautiful straight line. And since I know the equation of this, I'm going to label it. This line is y equals 2/5 x minus 8. Let's try another one. Sketch the straight line given by 3x plus 5 equals 30. So this one's in a different form. So this one is in ax plus by equals c form, which we call our standard form. So if you wanted to, you could manipulate this and you could get it into y equal mx plus b form or slope-intercept form and read off the slope. That's certainly possible. But there's another way to plot this quickly. All it says is sketch, right? If it asked me for slope or y-intercept, I'd have to do the other things. But it just says sketch. So we know that we need a minimum of 2 points to sketch a line. All we need is 2. If we have more than 2, that's great, but we must have 2. So we're going to look at this carefully. So 3x plus 5y equals 30. We're going to plot this using intercepts. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your hand and I want you to cover up this piece right here with your finger. So if you do that, what we're really doing is we're like setting x equal to 0. So cover it up with your finger so you can't see it. Pretend it's not there. So we end up with the equation 5y equals 30. We're going to solve this for y. So to solve for y, we're going to divide both sides by 5. So we get y equals 6. So that means when x was 0, y is 6. Well, when x is 0, isn't that a y-intercept? Now we're going to find the other intercept. Okay, so I'm going to write this again. 3x plus 5y equals 30. Again, use your finger and cover up plus 5y. Pretend it's not even there. What we're doing is we are setting y equal to 0. If you set y equal to 0, that whole piece is gone, right? And your equation simplifies to 3x equals 30. And we're going to solve this one for x. So if we solve for x, we divide by 3, divide by 3. So we see x is 10. Okay, but x was 10 only because y was 0, right? Because I covered up that plus 5y with my finger. Okay, so this is the x-intercept. So if I plot these 2 points, I have my line, right? So plot 0, 6. Again, remember my points go x comma y. So when x is 0, that means I am on the y-axis. And then I go up 6. So I'm right here. So this is the point 0 comma 6. And I do the same thing with the other 10 comma 0. Again, this is x comma y. So notice the y is 0, which means I'm going to be on the x-axis. And that's what this is, right? An x-intercept. It should be on the x-axis. So if y is 0, x is 10, I am right here. This is the point 10 comma 0. And we're going to connect this in a straight line. And we're going to label it with the name of the line, 3x plus 5y equals 30. So if you're just asked to sketch, it doesn't have to be in slope-intercept form. You can use the intercepts. Okay, but I do want to point out how we could get this in slope-intercept form if we wanted to. So I'm going to scroll down here and do it. So we have 3x plus 5y equals 30. So maybe the question asked us to find the slope. Well, we could find 2 points and we could find the slope using the calculation. But if we change this into slope-intercept form, it's super easy. We know that if we have y on one side of the equation with a coefficient of 1 and x is on the other, then the coefficient of x is the slope. So what we're really going to do is we're going to solve for y, which means we want the term that has y in it to stay where it is. So we're going to subtract the other stuff. So we have 5y equals, because this is going to cancel, negative 3x plus 30. But we want the coefficient of y to be 1. So we divide by 5 on every single piece. So these cancel. So you're left with y equals negative 3/5 x plus, well, what's 30 divided by 5? It's 6. So if I recognize this is in my y equals mx plus b form, we can see the slope is negative 3/5. And we see b is 6, which means the y-intercept is 0 comma b. Remember, b is the y coordinate of the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is 0, 6. Let's look at our graph. Oh, look, we have 0, 6 for the y-intercept. Perfect. And our slope is negative 3/5. So remember, for our slope to be negative 3/5, that could be negative 3 over positive 5, which means we would go down 3 and right 5. So if I started out at 0, 6, I could go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, do it again. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This does match what we've been doing. I could say, well, you know, the slope is also positive 3 over negative 5, which means up 3 and left 5. So I can start from here and go up 3. 1, 2, 3, left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My graph's off a little bit, but you see how this works, right? So now you've seen examples where we're given a line and maybe given different parts of a line or maybe in a different form, and we're still able to graph.